So I just got done with the mortising machine. I mortised the dovetails at the top here, and then the inside mortise rail goes across. I still have to clean out the inside of the mortise. You can see that there's some gook in there. I just clamp that down here and take a chisel to clean all that out. So I will. This one's already been done. I'll do that one in a moment. One thing that I am noticing is, you know, some of the dimensions here we've kind of kept them large, like the legs here. Are over 1.5 inches, which means that these are a little bit less than those. We're constantly having to keep ourselves reminding what flush is in the front there. And the other thing is that this is slightly greater than 1/2 inch. And when we go to the mortising machine, I'll show you my mortising machine here. When we go to this, we see that the way I put this in, I had it go in, and then I have a stop at the end. So I was able to, you can't see that. I have a stop at the end here, which goes and you bring the board to the stop, so it's in the same spot for each one of these. We don't have that at the mortising machine at school. And then it has this big long arm to cut that down. But anyways, the chisels that they put in here, they are, the one we have in here is 1/2 inch, and it's 1/2 inch. I mean, it's exact. So when we plane our materials, if we plane it a little bit below 1/2 inch, we're not going to have a nice joint there. Mitch, you have yours just a hair over 1/2 inch. And so my two options are, I can move my stop a little bit and try to widen that mortise there, but the bit and the chisel together are what does the cutout of the mortise here. So I'd rather not do that. I would rather just go back to the planer and just take a hair off of our thickness here for this. You know, we run into this problem. We didn't run to the top there for the top of the dovetail was because remember we just took a marking gauge, we set it to it, the thickness of it, and then we cut it out by hand. Here we're using a machine where it has a 1/2 inch, and it's 1/2 inch. You know, there's no plus or minus. It's 1/2 inch, so things have to fit it. When we use the dado blades at school, and we're putting shelves in and so forth, when we plane those things to a thickness, we generally like to do it after we have the dado in there to make sure that it fits real well. Because our planer, as you know, it's analog. We wind it up and bring it back down again, and there's no like digital settings for it, so it's such that you have to be aware of what your final thickness is going to be. So then we're putting the tenons on the ends here, and to cut those tenons, I simply went to the table saw. So they're set up like this. And I took them across the ends there to make cuts on the ends that look like that. Now, I could go back and change out my miter gauge. I can set this on here to move this up. But I can set this for a 90-degree angle. And I could make those other cuts, vertical ones as well. But I'm going to do them by hand. I choose to do them by hand. I just draw the lines out and then follow my lines with the handsaw there. I also could use a turning jig like we've used in class. These to help support my piece to make it cut when it's vertical. But I'm going to cut them by hand. So the next step that I want to do here is I want to just take a hair off of this for thickness so I can test the fit.